What's up, YouTube? Today we'll be going over my Gishath Sun's Avatar Dinosaur Tribal deck. It is still in testing, but Gishath Sun's Avatar is a 7/6 legendary dinosaur avatar for 5, 1 red, 1 green, 1 white, with Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and whenever Gishath Sun's Avatar deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library, put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, rest go on the bottom of your library in any order. So, very tribal, very good tribal commander. Let's start with the land base. We have Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, Stomping Ground. We're running the shocks because this deck needs a lot of colored mana really quick. Next we have Path of Ancestry, very good card. Adds 1 mana of our commander's color identity if it's spent to cast a creature that shares a creature type with our commander. We get to scry one. Canopy Vista, Cinderglade, more dual lands to help grab our commander. Rootbound Crag, Sun Petal Grove, Clifftop Retreat, just some fast lands. Temple of the False God, because 2 mana for if you have 5 lands, that's good. Command Tower, Sunholm, give Gishath Double Strike for 4 mana. Very good card. Unclaimed Territory comes into play. We get to choose a creature type. We're obviously going to choose dinosaurs. We get to add 1 mana of any color to cast dinosaurs, or we add a colorless. Exotic Orchard makes any colored mana our opponents can produce. Reliquary Tower, so we don't have to ever discard our hand due to hand size. Rogue's Passage to help make Gishath unblockable. Crowsand Verge, this can get us any of our dual lands that are either a plains or a forest. And the last non-basic land is Opal Palace. Can add 1 mana of any color in our commander's colors to make it, and then if it's used to cast the commander enters with a number of 1/1 counters equal to the number of times it's been cast. Next we have a couple forests. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to be exact. We have six plains and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mountains to finish off our land base. Next, moving on to creatures. First we have our dinosaur creatures. Thrashing Brontodon, a way to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Death Gorge Scavenger, way to exile cards out of the graveyard. Wayward Swordtooth, really fun little creature. Yeah, it can't attack until you have 10 or more permanents, but you can play an additional land on each of your turns. Verdant Sun's Avatar for life gain. Territorial Allosaurus, if you need to fight something when it enters, you can kick it. Gorging Ceratops, give your dinosaurs, give other creatures you control double strike until end of turn when it attacks. Silver-clad Ferocodons, when it's dealt damage, each opponent sacrifices a permanent. Really fun way, especially now with the new Polyraptor combo coming out. That'll be good. Raging Raptors, if it's dealt damage, you get to search for a basic land. Regisaur Alpha, give your dinosaurs haste. It makes a 3/3 dinosaur creature token when it enters. Charging Monosaur, just a 5/5 for 5 with trample haste. Runic Armasaur, this is a really interesting card. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card. So things like Maze of Ith let you draw cards Activated abilities that aren't producing mana can help you draw cards. Helps us draw cards. Temple Allosaur helps prevent our creatures from dying to non-combat damage. Well, even combat damage. It reduces all of the damage but one that is dealt to another dinosaur you control. Ghalta Primal Hunger, big 12/12. We can run out quick because it costs X less mana, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So you can get that out quick. Tauren Mauler is technically a dinosaur because it's every creature type, but it gets a lot bigger as you go because whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on Tauren Mauler. So get this out early, it can get real big real fast. Raging Regisaur, when it attacks, deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Great way to get enrage triggers. Charging Tuscadon deals double damage to creatures and players. This is not double strike, so if it has double strike, it gets to deal 8 damage on the first attack, 8 damage on the second, because it deals double the amount of damage it would normally do. Ripjaw Raptor, enrage, draw a card. So if it's dealt damage, you get to draw a card. Polyraptor, if it's dealt damage, it creates a token of itself. So there's a new card coming out in Core Set 20 that whenever a creature enters, deal 1 damage to that creature. So infinite Polyraptors. Rampaging Frostodon keeps your opponents from gaining life. It stops you too, but whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to the controller of that creature. Conjali Sunwing keeps creatures from entering the battlefield untapped. So creatures our opponents control enter tapped. Good way to slow down aggressive decks. Zatalpa Primal Dawn, very, very fun card. Flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, indestructible. Tough card to beat when you get it down. Atali Primal Storm, because who doesn't love casting spells from the top of your opponent's deck when it attacks? Very fun card to play. Raging Swordtooth enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each other creature. Another way to trigger enrage. And Wakening Sun's Avatar is our last dinosaur. If you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures. So it's a board wipe on a stick. Now to our non-dinosaur creatures. These help us cast our dinosaurs quicker. Drover of the Mighty lets us add a mana of any color to our mana pool and gets bigger if there's a dinosaur out. Otepic Huntmaster makes dinosaur spells cost 1 less and can give a dinosaur haste until end of turn. Priest of the Wakening Suns is a tutor for a dinosaur for 3 and 2 white, but at the beginning of our upkeep we may reveal a dinosaur from our hand. If we do, gain 2 life, so way to gain life early. Keeper of Progenitus, very underrated card in my opinion. Whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, or plains for mana, they add an additional mana to their mana pool. So it's a mana doubler for only Naya lands, which our whole deck is for the most part. Forerunner of the Empire, a way to tutor a dinosaur to the top of our library, and a way to deal 1 damage to each creature whenever a dinosaur enters the battlefield. Conjali Sunwing, or Conjali's Collar, dinosaurs cost 1 less. Knight of the Stampede, dinosaurs cost 2 less. At Zocan Seer, adds 1 mana of any color, but we can sacrifice it to return a dinosaur from our grave to our hand. And finally, God Eternal Ronas. This is a fun card because when it enters, it doubles the power of each of our creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. There's a card that we use to search him up, which is real fun. But he's a fun little creature that I've been playtesting a lot with. Real fun. Artifacts, we have Soul Ring. Mirage Mirror can become a copy of an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land on anybody's side of the field. So if we need double mana and our opponent has a way to make double mana, Mirage Mirror becomes that card. Mirror of the Forebears enters the battlefield. We choose a creature type. We're going to choose dinosaurs. It becomes a copy of target dinosaur we control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Pillar of Origins, a way to make any mana we need to cast dinosaur spells. Herald's Horn, this is a proxy. There's one or two others because it's in another deck right now. Enters the battlefield, we choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type cost 1 less. And at the beginning of our upkeep, we look at the top card of the library. We may reveal it if it's a creature of the chosen type and put it into our hand. So a way to get more cards into our hand. Elixir of Immortality, a way to shuffle our library back into our deck. Boros Signet, Gruul Signet. I have a Selesnya Signet coming in the mail. Chromatic Lantern to help us mana fix if we need it. Vanquisher's Banner. We choose dinosaurs when it enters. Creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1, and whenever we cast a dinosaur spell, draw a card. So more ways to draw cards. Now on to enchantments. Colossal Majesty. If we control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. At our upkeep, way to draw more cards, and most of the creatures have power 4 or more. Berserker's Onslaught gives all attacking creatures we control double strike, so a way to get more triggers with Gishath. Zendikar Resurgence to make our lands tap for 2, and then whenever we cast a creature card, we draw a card, so a way to draw more cards. Rhythm of the Wild stops our spells from our creatures from being countered, and then they can also come in with either a +1/+1 counter or haste because they gain riot when we cast them. Or non-creature spells have riot when they enter the battlefield. And last, we have Lurking Predators. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, we may reveal the top card of our library. If it's a creature, we put it into play. Otherwise, we put it on the bottom of our library. Or we may keep it on top, or we may put it on the bottom. This card's really fun, especially in a heavy creature deck. Can get out some pretty big dinosaurs pretty quick. Next, on to sorceries. We have Farseek to search for in plains, island, swamp, or mountain. Put it into play tapped. Can go get our fetch land or our dual lands. We have Cultivate to go get 2 basics, 1 into play tapped, 1 into hand. Explosive Vegetation to get more lands into play, basics into play tapped. Sky Shroud Claim to go get 2 forests. This can be non-basic. Put them into play. Just put them into play. So it's a good card. Thunderherd Migration. We can reveal a dinosaur to make it cost 1 less. Search for a basic. Put it into play tapped. Commune with Dinosaurs. Look at the top 5 cards of our library. Reveal a dinosaur or land. Put them from among them. Put it in hand. Rest go on the bottom. Kodama's Reach, search for 2 basics, 1 into hand, 1 into play tapped. A lot of it is search for lands because we need a lot of land. Next, the final one is Finale of Devastation. Green XX, we search our library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it onto the battlefield. If we search our library, shuffle. If X is 10 or more, creatures we control gain +10 +X and haste until end of turn. So we use this. Go find Ronus. They get the +10/+10. Then he doubles their power until end of turn, and they gain haste. Next, we're on to instants. We have Heroic Intervention to give our stuff indestructible and hexproof until end of turn. Eldrami's Call. This is a real fun card to play in response to Gishath triggers. We get a creature card, or not Gishath triggers. It's just a fun card. We go get a creature into hand. I was thinking of Convergence at Dawn. Go get 3 creatures, put them on top of your library. That's also coming in the mail. That's probably going to take Eldrami's Call's place. The last two cards are Samut, Tyrant Smasher, to give our creatures haste. We can also make one creature bigger and gain haste until end of turn if we scry one. And Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. Creatures we control have flash. Until our next turn, up to one target creature gains vigilance and reach. Good way to give some of our big dinosaurs a way to deal with flyers and a way to not tap when they attack. -2, look at the top 3 cards, exile one face down, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at it and cast it if it is a creature card. So sometimes we can whiff with this, but if we can get a big creature, or not a big creature, but a good creature we don't want our opponents exiling from our hand or from our deck, we can use her ability to put it into exile. But that was my Gishath Sun's Avatar deck. I'll put another video up after I've fully finalized it. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. That'd be great.